Hi, everybody. Welcome to our fifth anniversary Blade and Soul live stream celebration. I'm your host, Linda, the face that you'll always see and will have to deal with. Sorry, everybody. So today we're keeping it super chill because it is the 19th, the official release of Blade and Soul. It's been 5 years, 5 crazy years, 5 years of working on this game, 5 years, and hope to have 5 more. My chair is not a Herman Miller chair, by the way. I just caught that in chat. So again, I mentioned this is a very casual stream. I just want to go over the celebration. I have my slice of cake ready, so we'll do that right at the end. I'll light the candle and make a wish for Blade and Soul. So I'm for this stream. let's pull up our quick run of show, and I'll just kind of give you a quick description of what's going on. So we're going to go over the events preview. We have the sweepstakes I want to talk about. Make sure you're entering to win the sweet battle station. We have special guests. Keeping it fresh with Brett. Normally Brett will be on here and he's like my co-host with this, but we're gonna specifically have Brett talk about in-game localization, being part of the localization team, being a writer himself. We're gonna have a drawing with Dante session, and we're also gonna end the segment with some news of what's going on with Blade and Soul. We'll talk a little bit about some when is this coming out? And also, we're going to talk about our 6-month roadmap. All right. So, I was going to mention something that I kind of completely. Oh, that's right. And we have giveaways. Lots and lots of giveaways happening. So, Mark, would you be so kind to turn on the festive coin giveaway code for people to see? So, we have this giveaway. Anybody can enter this code. Enter this code at your account management page, and you will get 5 additional festival coins for you to spend in game. So that is just one of our giveaways. We have more giveaways coming up, so keep watching. We're going to have physical prize giveaways, and I actually also have 5 codes of sacred vows to give away, and that will be randomly distributed. We're going to randomly select people throughout the stream, and we're just going to PM you that code. All right. Cool. So first things first, I'm going to talk about our sweepstakes. So let's pull that up, and I want to make sure you guys also enter in the sweepstakes. Cool. Sorry, it's the browser. Don't enter it in chat, guys. Put the code, log onto your NC account, and get your 5 additional coins that you can spend in game. All right, so for the 5th year anniversary, our awesome marketing team has put together this huge battle station sweepstakes. So you're basically going to win everything except the desk. So Alienware is going to give us an awesome computer. They're giving us a gaming monitor, all the peripherals you're going to need. And then we have Carnox also providing us with a gaming chair. So here's a nice sweet picture of it, fully decked out, fully skinned, everything Blade and Soul that you totally need. And to enter is super simple. So we have a microsite here that you just click it, and you kind of register your email just to make sure it's one entry, and then all the other entries is just logging into the game. Logging into the game daily, and then you'll have a chance to win. So we'll announce the winners at a later date. So be sure to log into the game every day until January 27th. Well, no, not until. Log into the game every day anyways. And then, the next thing I want to talk about is For Fans by Fans. They are our official merchandise partner, and we have a lot of stuff that you've seen in the past that we've kind of worn on stream and things like that. So this is also available on forfansbyfans.com, and you can get cool merch. We've also have a lot of fan design stuff from our community and our new Astromancer gear for you to wear. So check it out. Any purchases you make from a fan design, they do get commissions off that. So give that a whirl. Now, speaking of For Fans by Fans, we also have the pint glasses available. That was specifically designed for Blade and Soul, and I also have a set of those to give away. So hang tight. I'm going to do some random physical giveaways. There'll be some random code giveaways that'll pop up on the top of the screen. I might announce them, I might not announce them, but anybody can redeem it. So if you're watching from YouTube, you can also redeem it. But the actual physical giveaways we're going to do are only going to happen in Twitch chat. Okay. I think that's basically it for the website stuff. And then I'm going to quickly go over the in-game anniversary event because I know most of you guys are already doing it, but I just kind of want to do a quick run over of it and just kind of show off all the stuff that you guys should be totally getting. All right, so let's switch to the game. So right now, I'm in somewhere in game. I'm wearing the Game Over outfit along with the late date weapon. So this, I'm going to give a little scroll here. So if you guys haven't gotten this yet, do head to the Hongmoon store to pick it up because that's where it's all at and it is free. So Hongmoon coin. It's not supplies. There it is. The 5th anniversary commemorative outfit pack. So you will get both the costume, the adornment, and the illusion weapon chest for your weapon. So pick that up. Now, if you want another one, of course, you can always get that in the Dragon Express. Oops, that's not the Dragon Express. For festival coins. Now, again, we do have festival coins giveaways, so be sure to redeem that because it is available for everybody. And then we'll have more giveaways pop up as well. Okay, so festival coins, you earn them through completing your daily challenges. There are coins set there. And then we also have a bunch of coins available through completing certain content in game. And then you can take these same festival coins and spend it with any of these wonderful items that we have. At the same time, we do have these raffle gems, and the raffle gems offer you a chance to win even more spectacular prizes. Like we have the opportunity, we're giving away a mythical level increase for your weapon and your accessory. So additional items. Oh, everybody's hanging out with me in game. Hi, everybody. And stuff like that. So be sure to check out the events preview page because it has all the details about the events in there. So good stuff. Good stuff. Okie dokie. So I think that's kind of, I mean, the event is super straightforward, right? So you can get a 7-day premium membership, the 5th anniversary headband, which is super hilarious in its own way because we have one every year. Why does my outfit look so strange? I didn't customize it. Did I customize it? I totally didn't customize it. And in terms of the costume, I think it turned out really great. So this is by Q-Bar. She also won a previous costume. I mean, sorry. She also designed a previous cosmetic that you guys all probably have. So it's just really, really awesome that she got picked again this year. So she's a 2-time champ. And then we have, let's see. Oh, right. It's best previewed through my items window because I can't preview it by wearing the weapon. You think at this point I'd remember where everything is. Oops. Where'd it go? There we go. So I think these turned out really, really well. I love the particle effect they added. The coloring is great. And this is by Seichi. I think it turned out, again, really good. The razor looks really good. Here's the razor, of course. Somebody called this out on Twitter. For some weird reason, the bow doesn't have the particle effect. So I don't know if it's a bow thing. Probably not. The orb. Yeah, everything turned out really super awesome. Really loved the way everything worked out. So, I'm a warlock main for life. Oops, let me zone out a little bit. So you can see the weapon here when it's sheathed. So I think it turned out really well. Cool. All right, so that kind of summarizes just a quick introduction that I'm doing for you in regards to what we're doing for the celebration live stream. And then now we're going to bring on Brett, and Brett's going to talk about keeping it fresh for Brett. Talk about game localization, and it's kind of almost something that people kind of easily forget about. But I love reading lore. I know there's some like lore nerds out there who enjoy like some of the interesting dialogue that the Breton team has created. And I just love to get some insight on that because writing for a game is not like they make it sound so easy, but it really isn't because you want to keep your creative juices flowing and all those things like that. So, hey, Brady, how are you?
Hello. Did I win? Is that why you're bringing me on? Do I get a
That's
free
right, you
battle
won.
station?
You won the
Do I
battle
get pint
station. There is
glasses?
definitely no. You what?
Yes.
What did you say?
I don't know. I assume that's why you brought me on stream because you have pint
Oh,
glasses
totally.
for
Yeah, I'm
me
going to announce
or a
that
battle
you completely won the
station.
battle stations, and even though there's no clause, there's like no clause in the actual rules saying people can't win.
I'm sensing some sarcasm, Linda. I'm sensing
What
that I
I'm
have
just
not won.
saying. I mean, like if you want to enter, I can't, uh, I can't allow you to win. I'm not picking the winner anyway, so
All right.
that's just the way
I'm
it
kidding,
is.
of course, but
Sure, sure.
but it's
I'm just kidding.
the real prize is being on the stream with Linda.
Oh, you are so kind. And it's same for you. Every day is a joy being with Brett.
5 years, guys. We made it. 5 years. Like I don't know. Some of you might have been in your teens when this game came out, and now you're in your 20s, or you were in your 20s, and now you're in your 30s. Or if you're like me, you started out in your 30s, and now you're in your 40s, and it's just you know,
Mm.
you
Yeah,
keep
I was
going.
already 30 when playing so long, so now I'm just more in my 30s. So, yeah. Everything feels the same. I just wake up every morning. It's like I don't remember these like wrinkles. It's like why does my back hurt? It's just kind of funny.
Story of my life,
I mean,
Linda. I
it's not
hear you.
really funny,
I
but yeah,
hear
I
you.
know, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
But
you have to
it's all
laugh
about.
because if you don't laugh, you'll just break down and into
It's true.
tears
It's
and
about being
lose
young in
control of your
heart.
faculties. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Peter Pan syndrome. You
Is that
age,
what
but
it
your
is?
maturity level actually. I don't know. I feel like I'm probably more of a 13-year-old now than I was when I was actually 13, which probably says a lot about me.
No,
But
no, no, no.
anyways,
Here, I don't know. Like some days it's just like, oh yeah, I'm 25 again. Woohoo!
um, but thank you for bringing me on. I think I started working on Blade and Soul in fall of 2014. Because obviously there was localization work to do prior to the game's launch in the West.
I
When I
remember when you
started,
started.
that's right. When I started, I think there were 10 localization writers in total. Um, so we worked with the producers. We kind of split up the content. We had a project manager that helped keep things organized. And we kind of split up.
Hmm.
Um, there was a lot of the like naming of things was a and continues to be a group decision. We want to make sure that brand and production are comfortable when we name a new class or when we name anything like that. Um, so yeah, I've it's been an honor to be on this long crazy journey with everyone, and obviously a game doesn't live if it doesn't have players. So thank you all for keeping the lights on and yeah, giving us the opportunity to work on this game. Great.
I remember all the prep work you guys are doing and working on Blaine. So like a lot of the wuxia stuff, and I didn't even know that was actually a term. I grew up watching a lot of Asian films, Chinese movies, Chinese
Mhm.
dramas. So it was just kind of interesting, you guys doing all your research with that. So, um, what is your favorite wuxia movie of all times?
Wuxia movie of all times? I mean,
Yeah.
goodness, that's a question. I mean, it depends on what you consider in the genre, I suppose. Like the classic Jackie Chan Drunken Master is fantastic. Some of the
Right,
like
right.
more dramatic Jet Li movies, like Hero, is fantastic.
Oh,
Things like that.
yeah, I was
I
gonna
haven't s-
say.
I haven't seen a lot of the like classic old school. I mean, obviously, if you go back to Bruce Lee, I've seen some of it, like Enter the Dragon. You can't beat Enter the Dragon
Hmm.
just in terms of like classic martial arts. Um, I don't know, and but if you expand it to like just martial arts films in general, like Tony Jaa out of Thailand, if you haven't seen him, he's
Hmm.
amazing. Um, some of the old school like Hong Kong action films, like Peking Upper Blues is one that I really like. There's a ton. There's a ton too, and some of the ones that where they play with the genre too, like Shaolin Soccer, things like that. Um, I don't know. There's too many to choose.
I remember watching a lot of flicks where I don't know, they it's just a lot of movies came out of like Hong Kong, I think in the 90s, where it's like it involved like gambling and like weird like luck of the draw. Like if I like you know kind of like pray and rub this card hard enough, it'll give me like the ace that I need to win this blackjack, or like these like pie out dice games. Those were a lot of fun growing up for me. But Hero was definitely one of the top. I'm trying to think of other ones, but I think Hero was the one that kind of made me cry at the end.
Oh, it's very emotional. Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
as was what House of Flying Daggers was by the same director. I think that was also very
Oh
emotional,
okay.
very intense. Yeah, that one's very good. Um, you know what movie I would recommend if this is a little off topic, but um, The Raid Redemption, which was an Indonesian action movie, super
Hmm.
intense, super well done. Um, one of the actors in that movie ended up doing some stuff for Hollywood, but if you've ever seen like the new Judge Dredd movie was based on kind of the basic idea of that movie. It's
Oh
been
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah,
influential.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's very fun in terms of just blatant adultery action and stuff. But anyways, yeah, that's what's been cool about Soul is Blade and Soul. It kind of takes from these two traditions, right? It's an MMO, and most MMOs are based on like Western fantasy and kind of having different classes and this sort of thing. But then you also have this Eastern wuxia influence, and it's a melding of these different things, and it just works so well because you have this like unique combat system, and then but you still have like you know you might not have like a totally traditional tank or a totally traditional like mage, but you still have like different roles that people play and things like that. So it's been cool to see all that come together and be a small part of it.
Right on, Brett. Right on. So I know you've prepared us a couple of uh, show and tell. I mean, show and tell is not the right phrase for this. Some materials for us to look to review over, as keeping it fresh with Brett, keeping the localization fresh. Do we want to
Sure,
go over
yeah, we
that
could.
now, or do you want to save that for
Oh,
later?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, if we could go to the first visual aid. I wanted to story. So I get asked all the time, like, okay, you work for a Korean video game company. Do you speak any Korean? And my stupid joke that I always say is, no, I don't know any Korean, but I do know some English. And people either laugh or they just look at me like, really,
But
really.
that would
But
have been me. I
really
would be
early
like,
on, before the game launched, when we're still doing our QA testing, we were still even before like beta and everything. We would notice things. We would notice things in the game. So whenever we picked up a chest and we moused over it, it gave this little thing that you see on screen. It would say heat. We're like, that doesn't sound right. And so we'd go back to our files, and sure enough, the original source Korean, is this word you see up here, which I believe is pronounced yogi. And in Korean, it can mean opening or it can mean heat. So of course we had to update our files and change the English because what the translators had put in there, without seeing it in game, was simply heat.
yeah,
So
they had
part of
no
our job
context
is
to it.
exactly. So that's a big part of, honestly, a huge part of localization is just seeing these terms in game when you're at a file on. It's literally just Korean source and a place to put in English and maybe just a translation, and maybe and you have the alias, and sometimes the alias gives you clues as to what something might be, but otherwise you really have to see it in game to know what it is. So thankfully, we changed it to open. It's not heat anymore. I guess that'd be funny, and maybe that'd be this ongoing joke if every time you know you got a bag or a box in game, you had to apply heat, which I don't even know what that would look like. Is your character like sitting on it? Are you just hugging it really close? I don't know.
A
But
little
yeah,
bit of that.
that's just kind of an example of what localization looks like a little bit. Um, I also have I have a slide with just a couple of just my favorite examples of things that we've done in the past, some of which got some attention from players or journalists. Some of it I just thought was kind of fun. Um, and it's again, it's been fun to work as part of a team. So a lot of these aren't things that I've written personally. So to the left there, you see Dragon Trader Ronsel, who's in the Senderlands. So maybe not a character you've seen in a while, but she's just the most like sarcastic dragon trader of all time. She's like, "Yeah, well, keep your stuff safe, or at least safe enough." Like if you send a carrying pigeon, we can send a message there. Actually, so I just thought it was the kind of that the writer rewrote it to make this dragon trader that like, "Hey, buy our stuff, use our," and they're like super cheap. And the written and also voiced is just the most like sarcastic character ever. I put the talents, some of the talents for the disturbed back in the middle there. It's fun sometimes just to come up with little puns or little names for things that kind of work as part of a group, whether it's flavor text for an item or skill or things like here. Um, those sometimes take the longest. Trying to think of something that actually relates to what this particular talent or item does. So sometimes just the little simple things like that are the funnest to name. Um, Juna, of course, is in the center there. The Black Ram Vice Admiral, who I think now, if you're up to date with the story, should be like the new admiral, because Cholmugo, of course, had his tragic end. But yeah, she.
Whoa,
This is
whoa!
in the middle
Spoilers,
of.
Brett.
I know, I know. Something bad happens to someone this character knows.
Something
But
bad happens. Something.
it's Blade and Soul. There's tons of bad things that happen to lots of people. But Linda is still with us. That's the important thing. Linda is still with us.
What?
So
No.
yeah, she's.
Wait,
But just in the middle of the dialogue, she's like, "Oh, I can tell you were paying attention, weren't staring at my chest the entire time." Now I know some people got a little uncomfortable with this dialogue, but I mean, like, okay, can we acknowledge the fact that? And then the next line she says, "They're called scars, warrior," but I think sometimes it's okay to acknowledge the fact that the visual design in this game can be um, a little enticing, a little interesting. So when a character is dressed this way and has huge scars, I think it's okay to acknowledge it in the text sometimes. And then I had to put Lady Yahara up here. So as I mentioned, there were 10 writers when we started this game. So we kind of divided up Act One, Act Two, and Act Three, which were the initial parts of the main story. We divided them among the writers, and we by write a particular character, and then like for example, was Brother Hajun, and so when Brother Hajun later, we wanted that same writer on Brother Hajun so that the voice could be consistent. So one of the first, if not the first, major character that I wrote was, of course, Lady Yahara, shown there. In fact, about 4 years ago, when I bought my first car, and it was like the first car that I bought with my own funds, I put a little poll online of what should I name my car, and someone suggested that I name it Yahara, and of course that's the one that won. So I now have a
really? I
not
didn't
so
know you named your
sexy
car.
Honda Civic hybrid named Yahara.
She looks
But yeah,
good. You got some like nice looking lights on there, and I was like, "Oh, Brett, you see, you kind of customize your car there. I've seen it. I've seen it in the parking lot.
I don't know that
People
the
do
the
name their
car does her
cars.
justice. Um, but yeah, I kind of fell in love with her a little bit as I was rewriting her. But it's fun to start writing a character years ago and continue to write it years later. I'm hoping she'll come back a little bit more in the future. Um, but yeah, it's been fun to see the way writers write different characters, and now for the
Hmm.
writers that have moved on to other things, it's just a matter of us trying to honor the voice that they created and keep it going when we
Right, right.
rewrite those characters.
Or add on to
Um,
those characters.
yeah, and then
You've worked
I,
with a
I think
lot of. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, no, no. I was just gonna say you've worked with a lot of really cool voice actors, and I'm not well versed in the voice acting world, but I know there's some pretty big names that you've got an opportunity to kind of, I don't know, hang out with or guide, and
Absolutely, no. That's been the hugest blessing and one of my favorite parts of. It's become one of my favorite parts of working on Blade and Soul. Is the voice acting community is super cool. It's a diverse group. It's a positive group. I mean, that sometimes I tell people what's going on in the game and what's happening in the next, to get them excited about the game and about the project. And more, like, it doesn't matter who we work with; they're always just excited to work, and they're all excited to put their best work forward. It doesn't matter if they're like fairly new to voice acting or they're a veteran that's been, like we had Katie Lee on last year, and she's been working. She was the voice of the little kid in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, for Pete's sake. She was in Muppet Babies. So we've had to work with people who are up and coming, but also with like established legends. Like Katie has been awesome.
she's
I
so
do have,
wonderful.
if
She's so
yeah,
hilarious.
and it's just such a gift too when you write dialogue a certain way and you kind of imagine it being spoken in your head a certain way, and then you get into the booth and the voice actor something that does something that's like a little different, and it's like, wait, I like that better. Like that's awesome. Like yes, let's use that one. Let's use that one. And then sometimes you work with it a bit, you do some takes, but voice actors are great, and they I have a very short. It's only like a minute and a half long video that just shows some examples of what I think are good voice acting, both in terms of like emotional, dramatic, and comedy, and things like that. Just to kind of showcase a little bit, yeah, how fortunate we are to work with some really awesome voice actors. Um, so if we could cue
How
that up.
could this happen? They're gone. The Black Ram massacred my sisters all while I stood outside. This isn't everyone. Maybe there are survivors. We have to find them. There's no sense in standing around. Let's go.
This is Emperor's Tomb, of course. She just found out all her
I know
sisters.
who you are. You're that Hong Moon fighter. You think you'd show us a little respect after all we've done for you? Who's your friend? And what's the deal with her hat? Looks like a sea slug crawled in her head and died. Now she's using it as a pincushion.
Making fun of the
I'm
hat.
telling you nothing, you ungrateful twit. My mates will be here any moment now. Dozens of them. Then we'll see who's asking the questions. I guess you'll find out soon enough, won't you? Besides, no one knows the Admiral's plans but the Admiral. And he's not talking to you or Miss Slughead.
Poor Miss
Such
Luckhead.
Now,
attitude.
save everyone some time.
How did you guys come up with that? It's
I should have known this guy would be
silly.
just look at him.
You mean her?
We're
You mean
surrounded
her
and
hat? I
outnumbered.
mean, yeah,
Yeah, oh
they're
my
just making fun
gosh.
of the hat.
Gather more intel. Wait, you and this guy wear about the same size of clothing, right? This is no joke, warrior. This is a plan. You know the Black Ram's ways, don't you? Just dress and act like one of them until you
You and
find
this guy
out
wear
where
about the
other
same size, right?
is. Oh, come on. All you have to do is listen
Yeah,
and nod. You have the perfect personality for
I mean,
that. Let's do it.
Perfect personality. Doesn't matter.
little
You can
little
be the
wink, a
tiny
little wink
live.
at the player there, because yeah, exactly. You come upon this pirate guy who she's tied up, and it's like, oh, you and this guy wear about the same size, right? Because we don't know if the player's a 6'5", gone destroyer, or a little like foot and a half Lin. So it's just kind of like the little. Sometimes the game design, you gotta take a little joke at it. But that
Yeah.
was so that was Emperor's Tomb, of course. That was a very talented voice actress named Zara Fazal, who's done a ton of stuff both for games, for animation, for anime, and of course the gentleman there. If you didn't recognize his voice, that was the one, the only Matthew Mercer.
No
Matthew
way.
Mercer,
That's
who
awesome.
has done, um, yeah, who's done a ton of stuff in the gaming world. Who has a show you may have heard of called Critical Role. He's on Overwatch. He's done a ton of things. Again, super talented. So yeah, anytime you get to write dialogue and have it read by someone like Zara or Matthew Mercer, it's like this is unreal. Like, how is this happening? Um, so yeah, honestly,
Alright.
I mean, um, feel very fortunate to work on this game. At the end of the day, localization is about um, taking something and making it work for a particular market or a particular group. And it's been cool to do that with this game, but also see the ways that really, and I'm not trying to be cheesy or anything here, but the ways that the gaming community for Blade and Soul has made the game their own as well. Both like we have people like Dante, who you're going to hear from in a bit, who have designed pets and costumes for the game. We've seen the community, as you just showcased, design uh, weapon skins and costumes for the games, and even just anyone who's showcased the ways that they like to play, the progressions they use for a particular class, things like that. um, yeah, so we're all localization in a way, and we can all be happy of the gaming community we've built. Um, so, anyways, being a little cheesy,
Thank you,
but
Brett. Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you had a chance to see, still an all-time favorite is Foul-Mouthed Granny. She's much loved, will continue to be loved, and then the writing for her, and I'm sure coming up with her was a very interesting one.
well, funny story about that actually that I'll share real quick is the voice actress that plays Foulmouth Granny, also the voice actress that plays Jen Soyun, is the sweetest, kindest woman you will ever met. So she actually was a little taken aback. She's like, "Wait, this character like cusses all the time? Like, I don't want to." And we're like, "No, you don't have to cuss. You can just say these like words." But it was still a little hard for her to like get because she's like, she didn't want to emote that kind of like negative,
Right, right. The,
like.
the anger of like, ah, yeah,
But we got
bleep
through it. We
this,
bleeped
bleep
it.
that.
Obviously
Yeah,
the engineer bleeped the audio, and yeah, it came out super fun.
awesome, awesome. Thank you, Brett. That was really awesome, really insightful, and for the folks that were interested in Game Look, it's not something again, it's not something we really talk about often, so want to give an opportunity to kind of shine on that with this celebration live stream. There's a lot of questions, and there's some Blade and Soul news that I will share towards the end. So let's go through this, and I'll share with you whatever information I got. All right. Well, thank you again, Brett. I really appreciate the time you take for this live stream, and then. Um, let's do another code giveaway that we have. So the next giveaway, we're gonna kind of put it up on the upper third, on the top of the screen. So make sure to have your NC account open, ready to input this code because only 30 people can redeem this code. So if it says code's been redeemed, it's maxed out. We have 10 fusion stones for the lucky 30 folks, and there will be more giveaways too. All right. Leave that up there. So our next guest is Dante. You guys are familiar with Dante because Dante is our advanced illustrator. He's been, making a lot of costumes for our game, working on a lot of art assets for our game as well. So it's really exciting. Don't put the code in chat. Put the code on your NC account management page. You got to redeem it there. Cool. So, hey Dante,
Hey guys, how's it going?
it is
Can you
good
hear
to
me?
see you. And you got your quarantine beard going on. I like it.
Yeah, thanks. It's been a long time in the making. Won't go into it.
How long did it take you to grow that?
This has been a year's worth of growth, just about,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
about.
Everybody loves you,
Yeah.
Dante. Oh, and quick
Hey
correction
guys.
for myself. You guys are right. It is 300. So 300 of you guys can redeem that code. So max that out. Get those fusion stones. All right. So you've been working on a lot of stuff for Blade and Soul and all of our other games. I know you've been doing some stuff for Guild Wars 2 as well.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is,
busy.
but of course we can't really get into it because a lot of that stuff is like, you know, not spoiling it.
Yeah,
No early
top
releases.
secret. Top secret for now, I
Top
guess.
secret.
Right?
Top secret. Top secret.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Busy. It's been a busy year in quarantine, needless to say, and yeah, just kind of trying to navigate all the things that just all this stuff that you need to try and do
Hmm.
that you weren't accustomed to doing because you were in office and having to kind of balance between work and home life and all the things that come with that. So yeah, it's been a challenge, but
Yeah,
we're
for
doing
sure. We've
it.
been here for a while now, right? Like
Yeah,
9 months, and
it's been almost a
set up.
year.
I know it's getting there. Staying safe.
Yeah, it's kind of
You
crazy.
didn't catch the Rona or anything like that, right?
No, no.
I have known some folks who
Ah,
have, but they recovered.
yeah,
No issues
yeah,
there.
exactly, exactly.
I have also, lost a couple of folks, but it's
No,
tragic.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So
Yeah,
thank you, and just for to remind everybody to stay safe. Be
exactly,
be aware
exactly.
and take care of yourself.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do.
Yes, yes. So I know Dante, we're not having you draw live on stream because it is a bit of a challenge to do that in such a short time and to make it look nice
Yes,
because drawing ain't like like do here you go, I'm
it's like
done, right?
Picasso, it's done. It's like, hey, you know, a stroke here, a stroke there, and you have a piece of art.
Right, right. Yeah, it's a little. I assume it's a little
It's a
more
little
than
more
that.
involved.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
little more involved.
Not being an artist myself, and seeing a lot of the community artists, I can't imagine the work they put into that. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's some great stuff. It's some great stuff. This new piece here is pretty nice that we're going to be looking at
Oh, right.
with
So,
submission.
you
Yeah,
know, I
so
mentioned it earlier. So we have the 2020 player design cosmetics. We have Game Over by Q-Bar and Late Date Illusion Weapon by Seichi. And, you know, I have no artistic eye at all. For me, it's like, that looks great, ship it. And somebody's gonna be like, no, Linda, there's a pixel there, and there's this little weird blur that we need to take out. I'm like, wow, I didn't even notice that at all. So, I mean,
yeah.
being an artist yourself, like looking over what Q-Bar and Sage has submitted, like, what are some of your thoughts? Like, what do you like about it? What did you
That's
find
great
really
work.
cool?
Yeah, I mean, overall these are great designs. Really love the choices that they've made. I love the themes. The game over theme. It's really cool with kind of a nod to portable gaming. The old Game Boys and whatnot. That's cool stuff. I dig it a lot. Uh, you know, uh, Great presentation on this piece too, and I think she did the previous one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
just
did. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It begins with an
mhm,
R. And um,
yeah,
Mark,
great
could we go ahead and show this cool Reborn? That's what it is. Yeah, just told me it was
reborn.
Reborn.
Ah,
She did
okay.
do Reborn.
Yeah, yeah, great work. I love it. Just looking it over, I like her presentation. I'm like, man, I could take notes from that. Maybe I should do my presentation more like this. Mine end up being like multiple sheets, and it's like I'm sure the dev team when they get it, it's like, God, does he have to send us so many files? It's like, why doesn't he just composite it all into one and just do it that way? So maybe I'll have to steal this format and do it more like this. Less files to review and look through. So just very cool stuff.
Right, right.
Yeah, I really dig it. I like how I love the details in these. Just some really nice treatments and whatnot. Just kind of when I look at it and stuff. Just really cool. If I were to I mean, God, there's not much that you can really say, on a critique point. Um, she's got a really good handle on you know her colors and light and shade and stuff like that. Just very cool. Um, you know, maybe on some of the proportion stuff, maybe a little tighter. But I know that's the style, right? That's kind of like
Right,
the
right.
anime style and stuff like that. But maybe that would be my only thing I would say maybe on some of those. But overall, just really cool stuff. Great details, good choices. Like I said, her breakdowns are really cool. I love how she calls out things. And it's not there's no fuss to it, right? It's pretty straightforward. And I think that
Hmm.
when it gets in the hands of the dev team, any 3D 3D modeler worth their salt can take things and take it from there and just run with it and be able to create the in game assets from that point. So, I always look at that type of stuff and kind of having come from that background myself, there's a little bit of understanding of what has to go into that. So, um, but yeah, just great stuff. Really dig it. Um, like I said, presentation is awesome. She does a really good job of breaking these things down for the devs. Her orthos are really really tight and just well done. Maybe with the Tetris design on that sits on the inner coat, maybe in the upper one, maybe do something to make that feel a little more like it's conformed to the fabric, the way the fabric is flowing, and not have it so flat. Because right now it feels just a little flat to me
Hmm.
on that piece of material. Maybe go in and use the warp tool in Photoshop. Maybe warp it to have it conform more to the form of that piece of clothing. Maybe I would say maybe do something like that. But outside of that,
Do you feel by
yeah.
doing that it kind of gives a better visualization for the modeler to um,
It's not really necessary.
add?
Just
Okay.
but I think from a presentation standpoint, it just kind of makes that element feel a little more convincing
Hmm.
on the piece of clothing. That's all. That's
Okay.
something that I try and do in some cases, and in some cases, it becomes a little more work than it's worth.
Hmm.
And as long as you show it on your orthographic view, they can get a good sense of what that should feel like on that piece of clothing or that part of the design. So it's not necessary. It's something that I like to do in some cases, and in other cases, I don't always do that. It just really depends on what that design is. So,
Right,
or what that
right.
design element is, I should say. So, but yeah, I mean, just again, I mean, really great stuff. This is the second piece that I've seen from her, and
Hmm.
pretty solid work. So, just
It
good
is, it
stuff.
definitely is.
Stuff.
When that came
Yeah.
through, I think the theme last year was kind of pop culture, and there was a
Hmm.
lot of interesting things that came through. I really, there was like a Don Quixote weapon, and I thought that was super super neat, super ornate,
Yeah.
super cool. And then you
Yeah.
get something like this, you're like, wow,
I love the
that was
cat's
exactly
kind of
what I was hopefully
pixel
envisioning.
frame glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
So
cool.
I
Really
think
cool.
and it's kind of cool in game too. So like how it hangs off the shoulder, but then when you're
Hmm.
like when walking, it kind of pulls up for some weird reason. I'm like, but the air resistance, whatever. I mean, maybe there's just some like
Yeah,
earth and
yeah,
realm magic of you got to stay warm type of thing. But
yeah, yeah. That's
cool.
called animation magic.
That's right. That's right. I mean, the blissful physics have always defied gravity, so it's just kind of the way that game
Yeah,
works.
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, that's the costume, and of course, there's the weapon, the slightly
The
different, of
weapons.
course,
Yeah,
style,
yeah.
and the
Exactly.
weapon turned out really good. And it's interesting because every year, it's like South Korea, they announced a new class and they talk about a new weapon. And I really appreciate the extra detail. A lot of the designers go there. Like, we never ask
Hmm.
them to make the unreleased class weapon, because it's not released yet in North America. But they're always like bonus or extra in
Right.
case you
Okay.
want it. And, because usually, if that's left out, I mean, not left out intentionally
Right.
because we don't have it as a requirement, the dev designer will kind of put together or mock it together based on the actual design. So the weapon
Gotcha.
is pretty sweet. I'm really happy with the way it also turned out. You know, um, it's simply Alice in Wonderland style, right?
Yeah. She got particles on hers. That's awesome.
Yes, yes. The
I
particle
didn't get
effects is
particles on
always a
mine.
bonus. Sorry, Dante. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Do you have
I do
the
have it up.
ortho for
I
the
do have
weapon?
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have it up here. Yeah. Looks really cool. Again, another great theme. I love that, uh, kind of Alice in Wonderland, Tea Party slash the
Hmm.
Queen of Hearts theme, which is really cool. And, just really intricate design. The details are just very cool. You know, man, great color palette on it and stuff. Um, if I were to have anything to say, I'd probably say maybe on a couple areas, try and for the next go around, maybe try and convey a little more depth on the weapons, like on the
Hold on,
blades.
Dante. It's not showing on the stream that you're looking at the
It isn't.
um
Uh oh.
no, that you're looking at the weapon.
Huh. Oh no. Did we lose my connection? No.
No, I don't think so.
It still it shows it. It shows it on my stream, but hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Wait
Give
a
us one
second.
second, folks. We're just gonna restart Dante's video, or not video, his desktop stream, and then we'll have that. See if we can get that sorted.
Let me check and
Sorry, I
see.
do a lot of hand movements.
Let's go here.
It's like I wish there's days where I feel like 3 monitors is not enough, and then I have
Right.
2 monitors here. I don't have any more space for a third one because I'm sitting on my kitchen table. It makes it really funny.
Oh, it looks
So
like
it's
I've
like
lost
I
my.
have like
Looks like I've
this
lost
live
my
stream window open. I have a
whatchamacallit.
chat window open. Somebody's talking to me on Slack. I have this other window open. It's like
Yeah,
ah.
it looks like it. Hang on a second. Oh,
Sorry,
sorry,
I'm gonna
guys.
keep throwing my hands up in the air. Let's give it one second, folks. We're just gonna sort through some minor technical issues. I'm gonna blame
Yeah, it
Dante's
looks like I
internet.
lost
I'm
my
just kidding.
VPN.
It's not your internet.
Oh,
Sure, yeah. Let's take a quick
while it
break, folks.
reconnects.
But I'm gonna give you another code that you can redeem. Now, I misspoke last time because the Fusion Stones was 300 redemptions. This one only has 10, for sure 10. And if I'm wrong again, that's fine. Just watch the text because the text is correct. It is gonna be for the Admiral's new clothes selection chest. I only have 10 of those, so get ready to redeem, and then we're gonna throw that up and go on break. So give us about a few minutes to sort this issue out.
All right, we're
Hey,
back.
we're back. That was quick. That was nice. All right, we figured it out.
Small
Got
little
that.
snafu.
Yeah, just a small snafu. So, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Look at
Can
that
you guys see it now?
gorgeous weapon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yes.
beautiful. The design is really beautiful. Really nice. And again, like I was saying, great work, great presentation. If I were to say anything about it, maybe just try it and work on conveying a little more depth on some of the elements of the weapon. And also, I would probably, and I don't know, and again, this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. But when I do these, I tend to provide the dev team with some type of um, orthographic view of these so that they can get an overall sense of what they look like from the front or side. um, Sometimes they don't need certain views, but sometimes they need other views to just really get a good sense of the form of the weapon. Like for the bow, as an example, that would be something that I would provide an ortho for, because it could flare out or it could be very flat, but you want them to understand the form that you're trying to convey to them. So
Hmm.
the same thing with the staff, I would probably do that. Although, again, I mean, if I were modeling this and I was looking at it, I could look at that and say, okay, the top of that staff looks like, kind of like a mobile, right? And so I would understand how to model that. But in some cases, some modelers need the literal layout of what those things look like, and others don't. Any modeler worth their salt should be able to take that and interpret that, but not
Hmm.
everybody's like that. So, but that would be the only thing I would say. It's probably on your next go round, provide some type of orthographic view for them so that they can, you know, produce these in the way that you meant for them to be produced. So, but again, great work. Love the details. Really cool design. Well thought out. So, just awesome stuff.
Yeah, she.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
No, that's it.
Say she did a
That's
good
it.
job with the
Yeah.
weapon. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I do love the
Yeah.
attention to detail.
Yeah.
They definitely like Wonderland style theme, but it's slightly different because it's not
Sure.
just the hearts and then you have the hat and then you have the
Yeah.
teacup. Teacup's one of my favorites, and I know the blue effects is and I really and the I don't it's definitely not easy to convey particle effects in my opinion. So like adding that on definitely
Yeah.
provides a
Yeah.
visual for the dev team to actually
I mean,
the
you just want
designing
to do
team to
things like, yeah, you just want to do things like conveying depth so that they can get a sense of how thick the blades are or how thick those elements are in and around the hilts of these pieces, right? In some cases
Mhm.
they may look at that and say, "Oh, it's like super thin," or and you may think that there's some volume to it, obviously, right? And so you just want to make sure that you convey that, and so that they model it in the correct way. So that would be one of my suggestions. But yeah, overall, again, really cool designs, very cool stuff.
Thank you, Dante.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
speaking of orthographics, like last year you designed, I mean, every year you have a new design and you're already working on or have worked on a new design for a costume that will hopefully be coming out sometime
yeah,
this year.
yeah,
I'm excited because it's different and I really hope everybody will like it too. You don't get a
yeah.
choice whether you like it or not because you're all going to like it anyways. I'm just kidding. But you did.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, we still got a little
this,
bit of work to do on some of the stuff, but yeah,
yeah, yeah,
the main design has been done and shipped
yeah.
off. So uh,
This is not like something that Dante can like whip up in the week and it gets like designed like and added to the game or for later. But um, I think it was end of 2019. You created the demigod's costume, and
right,
this is yeah we put it on the list. I was like, hey Dante, it's like you make a costume first. You're like, sure. What do you want to make? And I was like, I don't know, Dante. You do whatever you want to make. That was really. I remember what it was. It was just like, do whatever you feel like doing. And I said, this is you. This is all your work, right? And you came up with the demigod's costume, and which
right.
was based off
Yeah, I
of
think somebody
Greek
somebody kind of
mythos.
had an idea for that. Yeah, the Greek mythology and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
and Andre talked about it. I think.
yeah yeah. So so we kind of brainstormed this idea for that, and it was kind of cool. It was a little different than what we had seen. Although I think somebody said, "Well, there is kind of like a Greek outfit already in the game," and I'm like,
Yeah, we
okay,
had
well,
the
let's take yeah,
Olympus or something like that. It was kind of more
yeah,
Roman style because it had the toga and
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And so we decided to kind of like, how could we, let's differentiate ourselves from that one. Let's do something a little different. And so we kind of figured, well, let's do something based on Greek gods. And, I kind of said, okay, that's kind of cool. We'll do that stuff. And then we kind of came up with the idea of like, well, maybe we'll kind of break it up a little bit. And so I decided that I would, you know, take two different gods and try and do one
Mhm.
for the male and one for the female. And we decided on an Aries and an Athena theme. And so we did that, and I kind of went through the process. I don't know if you want me to show the mood boards first. How do you want to do that? But we can show
Yeah,
the
let's do the
outfit.
mood boards. Let's do the mood
So
boards.
we did a mood board for these, right? And we kind of said, okay, let's do kind of, like I said, this theme based on the Roman gods. And so we did Ares and Athena. And I said, okay. So I started looking at some stuff for those, and just to kind of start sparking my ideas on it and stuff. And so here you have like a mood board with a bunch of reference that kind of helped me kind of hone in on what we would do for the Ares armor. And then we did one for the Athena. So these were kind of my mood boards to just get my ideas going for this.
Mhm.
And then from there I went ahead and I started working on thumbnails, and I did thumbnails for those, and my thumbnails you know end up looking more like this. So this is for the ideas for the Ares armor. And then I did a set for the Athena armor, and you can see those there. And so we kind of looked at those and said, okay, which ones do we like? And we kind of narrowed them down to something like this, which is kind of where the design you know kind of moved towards. And from there, I went ahead and started working on it. And at that point, my finals I delivered were these here. And so this is kind of where the design ended up. Um, and so you have your Ares and Athena. And I figured what's cool about that is that you have something that has a shared theme, but yet they have their own identity within that theme. And it was definitely male and female, distinguished,
Mhm.
and it would give each one of those their own unique look. And I thought that that would be cool to do, as opposed to just saying, hey, let's take an outfit and then make it work across both genders. You wanted to have like the masculine and strong, powerful Ares, and then you wanted to have the wisdom of Athena, but yet have a certain sexiness to the outfit that goes in line with a lot of the other outfits, for the females in Blade and Soul. And so that was kind of part of the decision making in
Mhm.
leading us to this design. So and then we have then we did it's like, well, we needed something for the familiar. And so we decided, well, in keeping with that theme, instead of just kind of mimicking what was on the male or female, like we've done in the other ones, I said, well, why don't we do Hermes as kind of like, an idea for the cat. And so I did thumbnails for Hermes, just some ideas to get, to put down for that. And so the cat would have its own identity, right? Not be a direct, copy of the male or female design. And so, from there, we did our final design for that, which is Hermes. And you know, kind of what we had there with that design. And it was fun to do. You know, I uh I love doing this type of stuff. It kind of harkens back to what I would do when I used to work on the dev side in gaming, and so I would do conceptual work as well as modeling and
Mhm.
texturing. And so just kind of it's kind of nice to be able to still do a part of that work without the stress of the other part of it.
Right,
um,
right.
yeah, and so and then from that point, I said, well, okay, we were tasked to do weapon skins as well. And we went ahead and did weapon skins for those. And again, the idea was to, in keeping with the theme of the other two, is to have weapons that reflected both those themes. And so we had a set of Ares weapons um, that you see here. So you have the assassins and warlocks dagger or razor, as you call it, and you have the sword for the blade master and the blade dancer, and then of course the warden sword. And then from there you have your blades, the axe, and the gauntlets. So all those were the Ares weapons. And then from there, we said, okay, let's go ahead and do the Athena weapons. And so the Athena weapons would be the revolver or the gun for the gunslinger, and then the staff for the summoner, as you see there. And so those were, our takes on that stuff. And so because the owl was a part of um, the Athena mythos, I guess I
Hmm.
kept seeing it in a lot of the armor that I would see depicting her. I decided let's run with that theme and in keeping with the armor or the design choices that I made on her armor. So I just wanted that to kind of reflect, that element on, from her armor. And from that, we have the other set of her weapons, or the weapon set, which would be the little bracelet or bangle, if you would, that the Force Master and the Soul Fighter would have, and of course the Zen Archer. So we did those weapons for for the different sets, and so that's kind of how I approached it, and just kind of the twist that I wanted to put on these and stuff, and it was fun to do. I saw them in game once, but I hadn't really seen them in motion. So, um, you
What
know,
do you mean in motion?
I'd only seen them in like, where you can go in and kind of look and see, oh, here are the new outfits in the outfit preview uh, window, and that's the
Oh,
only
right,
time
right,
that I've
right.
seen those.
Okay,
So
so I have.
I still have yet to see them in game.
Okay, okay. Well, actually, if we want to flip over to my in-game screen, I did equip the costume on, uh, being female. So I guess I should have put on a male character too. Sorry, I don't have a male character at all actually on my account. That's funny. I mean, is it funny? It's not funny. So yeah, I didn't put the weapon on because totally forgot there was a weapon. Even though we talked about having a weapon, I just blanked on me adding the weapon to my account. So oh, I like it. I like how somebody just ran to my screen. Very cute. I love it. Looks great. So this is the demigod's costume that was offered in Treasure Trove last year, and I hope it will make a comeback. I'm sure it will in some shape and form. I looked good for a female. It's definitely a little sexy, little skin. I love the boots, I guess, and the armor that is on it. So it's kind of a good mix of armor and not armory clothes. The helmet's a nice touch too, because it's not something we always see every day for a female character. And of course, it changes my hairstyle. But everything changes your hairstyle nowadays. I don't even know what my default hairstyle is anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, a cool element, right? Something a little different,
Hmm.
not typical of what we always see in the game. So no, something nice, a nice change, I guess.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't want it to. It's always hard, because there's so many costumes in this game. It's always hard to kind of like, choose something that hasn't been done, and you run across, it's like, oh, it's already been done. It's like, oh, okay, so we can't really do that, or maybe we'll need to do something a little different or treat it a little differently, and so this was kind of,
Yeah.
nice to say, okay, at least we can do a similar theme but have our own, have a slightly different take on it, and so it's not the Olympus or Olympian costume, but
Hmm.
it does kind of share, similar theme, so, or
Yeah.
lineage, if
It's
you will.
it's similar in the sense that it has a drapey toga, but it's definitely
Sure.
very different in its own.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fun to do. Fun to do. The next costume is completely different, though.
Oh yeah.
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 It's
I look
completely
forward to
different.
it, and we can't talk about it. I mean, I
Nope.
can't really tell you any more than that. That
Nope.
Dante has already mocked up the next costume, and there's just a couple of things that we're actually adding on. I mean, that he still needs to finish up for it, but I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get it released this year. Fingers crossed, and it's just gonna look
Yeah.
good.
Hopefully.
It's definitely different.
Hopefully.
But we'll talk about it then when that's
Yeah.
actually ready
That
for
at
a
that at
release.
that time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Fun stuff though. Fun stuff. And great
great.
work to see other people doing their thing. So I really always look forward to seeing, the entries for the costume contest
Hmm.
and then the winners and stuff like that, and then seeing them in game. So really cool
Yeah.
stuff. Keep up the great work, guys.
Thank you,
Awesome
Dante,
stuff.
and they love the work that you're doing, and
Thanks, guys.
we're
Appreciate
gonna
that.
start our next costume, or excuse me, cosmetic design contest in a few months. But yeah, thanks again, Dante. Great having you on.
Thanks,
I
guys.
appreciate the time,
Thanks for having
and
me. Always love to be here. So
thank you,
cool.
and we'll
Enjoy,
catch
guys.
you later.
All right, guys.
Bye,
Have a good
Dante. Alrighty. Okay, so I thought I ran out of codes, but I still do have one more code to give away. Um, it is XP Charms. There are 2021 redemptions available for this XP charm. So let's throw up that code. Anybody watching from Twitch and YouTube can redeem this. So available to the first 2021 in celebration of 2021. Yay! And at the same time, I guess I'll use this time to also give away the pint glasses. So it's a set of three, and I'm just gonna randomly pick somebody from chat. Look out for a PM from OMG Hime. I've already PM'd a person who been like, "Yo, you want some secret vials?" So you might be that lucky person to win that secret vial or win some swag. We also got the pot dogs. So Mark, would you put that pot dog video back up? We'll give away one of those too, and because it's a very cute animation. How do you not appreciate it? We have an amazing designer. Gosh, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the designer's information. So it's looking off to my screen here. Do, 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 do. I don't even think I'm pronouncing it correctly. All right. So I'll put it in chat as well. So it's Thren OD? Threads. She's the one who created our pot dog, and she was really awesome to work with. So if you guys are interested in checking out her work or anything else that she's done, and I hope she will continue to do some work for us. So here it is, pot dog plushie. That is her Twitter, and she also, I'll go ahead and link the Etsy store as well. There we go. Cool. All right. So I need to talk about Blade and Soul news. Now without Dante, I just feel like I feel so sad and lonely without Dante, without Brett. But it's okay. We will prevail. Prevail? Is that the right word? Yeah, that's the right word. Okay. Um, news. Okay. First thing you guys want to hear is Unreal Engine 4, right? So that was planned for development, released last year. Kind of COVID threw us a huge curveball in terms of that. So that kind of got a little delayed, and there wasn't a lot of information about that. So just for you guys, Unreal Engine 4 development for Blade and Soul is still happening. It's still continuing. I can't give you a date because we don't really have an exact date, but the goal is to continue development for Unreal Engine 4 and releasing it for the Asian markets and our market as well. So, it's happening. I think there was a really good thread on the Reddit channel talking about it. You know, COVID kind of changed a lot of things up. Many of us still working from home, shifting from back in the office. So that kind of made things a little confusing and difficult in that term. So when there is more information, you will hear from us again about it. But right now, just so you know, it's still a thing, still in active development, and looking forward to it when we can get our hands on it for sure, for sure. Now, another thing that kind of got that went out in terms of news is, Blade and Soul 2. You guys have seen it. We've seen the trailer as well, and it's kind of like, hey, what is this thing? So, Blade and Soul 2 is a mobile game that is coming out of our headquarter development studio in South Korea. So, we don't have a lot of information about that yet. We don't have a lot of information about that yet. What markets is it for? But just so you know, it is a mobile game, and more information will come out from HQ about that. And then if anything relevant for us, we will be sure to share and let you know what's up with that. But right now, you know, what we're doing here is focusing on the current Blade and Soul service. But we'll keep you posted if anything comes up out of that. Okay, and then the last bit of news that I want to share is our roadmap for the rest of for the next 6 months. So let's throw that roadmap up, and I will give you just kind of a quick run through of what that is. Now, granted, these are all just things that we've been talking about what we're going to have for the next half year, right? Next 6 months. So just giving you a heads up of what we can see. I can't give you a lot of information about it because mostly I don't have a lot of information about it, and it's just really just a plan and schedule of what's going on. So there's a new solo dungeon, new raid. You guys have probably seen the videos come out of our HQ about that. So really excited for that. There's plans for a Soulstone Plains refresh. I don't really know what that means, so we'll look forward to it and we'll see what it could be. There is a Unity level expansion. Many of you guys have been asking for, when's the next level? When are new stones or whatever and stuff like that. That's happening, maybe the first 3 months, next couple of months. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. And we'll see what change. Summoner third specialization. You guys have seen the weird cat UFO video that has been going around. So that's is planned for us, and whatever next class specialization for the other classes are coming out. So looking forward to when that is, looking forward to whenever they buff Warlock, because that'd be great to, make Warlock great again. Warlock was a very popular class back in 2017, but not so much these days. But it's still loved. I still love it. And I wish they would just stop giving soul burn to all the other classes. So there's going to be another new heroic dungeon. We just had a new one. Did we just have a new one? Yeah, and then there's a new legendary dungeon as well. Again, there's just not a lot of information yet about that because this is all things that we were talking about doing. So super cool, super awesome. Uh, don't mean to be talking too quickly, but this is all that I can share with you at the moment because that's all the information I have. So again, I'm just going to refresh. Unreal Engine 4 still a thing. COVID kind of threw a wrench into how we were working on development, how the devs were working on that, and in terms of when that was coming out. So still a thing, still active development. We get a couple of questions coming in here and there from them, so it's not something that people are pretending to work on. They're definitely working on it. Blade and Soul 2, it's a mobile game. Yeah, it kind of sounds like an MMO. So we'll see what comes out of our development studio in terms of what that looks like. But what markets will be available, that information is not readily released yet. So we just got a quick tease of what that is. And then the roadmap for the next 6 months. So hopefully we'll look forward to everything that we have here. It is subject to change because sometimes for whatever reason it's not ready because development time is it's all about trying to meet a deadline, and sometimes you just don't meet that deadline, and so it might get pushed or something might move into its place. So, but this is kind of the idea what we're able to look forward to in the next 6 months. Okay, so let's kind of close the stream in terms of the birthday celebration. Want to give you a happy anniversary Thank you for playing Blade and Soul all these 5 years. If you're new, if you're old, I really appreciate it. Thanks for your patience and watching the stream. I did hope you had fun. This is a little bit different in terms of it's not our update preview. We just kind of want to keep it chill and just kind of give you a little backstory or a little history, a little behind the scenes of what we do because it's we don't talk about it often, right? So, okay, so I have my cake, but hilariously enough, I didn't bring my fork. So I guess I'll just eat it with my hands. Let me light the candle first. Anyways, I don't mean to be making a face. So if you guys want to make a wish and happy anniversary to Blaine Soul. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for trolling me, loving me, asking me why do I smoke, but I actually don't. My voice just gets really raspy when I talk for a long time. But many thanks. Thanks, guys. Happy anniversary. Happy birthday. And, here's another 5 years and many more for Blaine Soul. Cool. Thanks again. Take care, everybody. And we wish you well. Be safe and have a great day.